Hello guys, Tops here today. How does X Mastery work in Battle Rush? So as always, it reduces the weapon skill by 25%. For fatigue cost, split shield damage is increased by 50%. Round swing gains plus 5 chance to hit, and the long axe doesn't have a penalty from minus 10% hit chance anymore. Okay, so X Mastery is is, as always, all of these masteries are already worth picking up for the fatigue reason. But especially, I feel X Mastery X's are one of the best weapons in the game in just raw terms of output. The X does not discriminate. Like the X just chops everything to bits. So the X is always the right answer. Like it's never wrong. You have so high base damage with high armor pen, high armor efficiency. You do good damage to all targets, basically. You are not as balanced as the mace, who might be better in some scenarios, but is worse in others. The hammer is worse balanced, right? It's pretty good versus armor, bad against everything else. The X is excellent against everything, and that's because of Split Man does additional damage. I'm just gonna show you in game. I think, yeah, it's time to show you in game. There's not much to X Mastery, how I use X's. All right. Um, sorry for that. We are going. So, in general, the X Quick Hands build is one of my favorite two-handers builds, right? I don't have a Quick Hand build actually here. But the general idea is you take X Mastery, Pathfinder, and then you can always walk one tile and still attack. And if you take Quick Hands, you can have a pole axe in your backpack and just swap to the pole axe and have another tile additional reach, right? So you effectively have like three tiles of threat range, right? That's pretty good. So generally speaking, the Great Axe, because of the Split Man does 50% bonus damage to another bodyboard part. So like the single target damage from the Axe is just, yeah, it's probably the highest in the game. It's just incredible how much damage this attack does. And it costs basically 12 fatigue, so it's not much. And you just smash everything. Like weaker opponents are getting one-shotted right away, stronger opponents are getting injured right away, are prone to being two-shotted, especially if you start stacking damage with Headhunter, Executioner, Killing Frenzy. Dude, there's nothing that compares to a two-hander that swings twice per turn in terms of damage output. The AoE of the Badish is something I don't like, because the armor penetration goes to a fixed 30%, so we go from 40% armor pen to 30% armor pen, so it's less damage than the greatsword because we have less base damage, and we still have negative. Oh no, we don't have negative hit chance anymore. That's nice. Yeah, X Mastery negates the negative hit chance. Okay, so we are neutral, but we don't have additional hit chance like the greatsword. So that's that. So again, great axes and the great X quick hand build, one of my best builds, my favorite two-handed frontline builds. I always have great axes in my team. Normally I can get away with lower fatigue bros, but normally stuff like the Nomad, who is like super high attack and defense, will become my X bro, because you know I always need somebody like you can get away with lower fatigue on the 200 axes, but it's really important that you hit your stuff. So for high attack, low fatigue bros, Great X always a good pickup. Now we come to the one-handed axes, the one-handed X duelist. The one-handed X duelist, the one-handed X does 50% bonus damage when it hits head, so naturally you want to combine that with Headhunter. And if you find somebody who is a drunkard or a brute or something, you can actually one-shot weaker opponents like brigand raiders and noble houses with one-handed axes. So on headshots, the one-handed axe can compete with two-handers in terms of damage output. The problem is it's one of the hardest to make duelist, because not only do you need duelist, you also need headhunter, you probably need recover, so you are basically taking 3 additional perks that most of the time you don't have to, right? And you could just take the same bro, give him a two-handed axe, and skip duelist and recover, and just give him headhunter and executioner and make him into a giga damage dealer, right? Oh, you can also give him quick hands, give him a long axe, all that kind of stuff, right? So in general, I don't play around with the one-handed axes, although they are fun. If you find a famed A1 and you find a special brother for that who can wield that thing, yeah. They have insane fatigue cost and insane perk cost. So also the orcs have the orc champions. They have famed axes sometimes, or the orc axes in general, who just do an insane amount of damage. They have additional fatigue costs. So if you find a famed orc axe, you can try to make an orc axe duelist. But honestly, I just prefer the big two-hander, especially because of the AoE, and the quick hand option for the long axe increases my threat range, right? The biggest problem with duelist is as soon as I start moving, I lose damage, because I just have no reach. So if I move one tile, that's -1 of my attacks, right? And my two-hander, if he moves one tile, he can still swing, or he can quick hand and then swing another tile away even. So that's the bonus of that. One-handed weapons have higher synergies with stuff like fast adaptation. So you can get away with lower melee skill, theoretically. But you need more fatigue and more perks otherwise. So yeah, also it has probably better synergy with fearsomes, because you attack more than once per turn. You basically attack twice per turn, eventually 3 times with berserk, so you have more chance to proc fearsome, and you are a duelist, so you do high armor ignore damage, so you will be always able to proc fearsome. So there's the fearsome combo as well. I see why some people like the fearsome duelist, but it's not my thing, of course. But guys, please tell me down in the comments below how you use your axes and your orc axe duelist. I would like to hear that. And thank you guys for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.